Hey everybody, here we go. We've got another live session for you, and this time I've got a guest. Woo! So this is Timea, and she is a very clever lady. So she's going to tell you all about what it is that she does, because quite frankly, it blew my mind when I heard about it, and it's been amazing just to learn from you. So Timea, tell everybody who you are and what roughly you're going to talk about today, and then stage is yours completely.
Hi everyone, thank you Nikki for this nice introduction. So as you mentioned, I'm Timea Kiss, or Kish in my language. Which means little basically. I'm a registered nutritional therapist. I specialize in immune issues, but I also work quite broadly with female health or women's health. So a lot of endometriosis, PMS, and everything related. Mm-hmm. So that's how I met Dr. Nikki. So we kind of want to collaborate to help women as much as possible from a holistic point of view. It's not just focusing on conventional medicine, but adding some extra tools that can help us to investigate certain symptoms that don't really have answers, let's say.
Yeah. So, no, this is what I thought was so cool, is that you look at healthcare in a very different way. It's a different perspective to the way that I might look at it. So, okay, right. Go for it then. Tell us. So the main thing I wanted to talk about today was around this concept of something called Nutrigenomics, which is, I would say, very up and coming, right? Very new.
It's quite new, but it's not that new, I would say. Yeah. So
tell us about it.
Yeah. So what is nutrigenomics is basically it's a scientific exploration on how nutrition interacts with our genes, especially in the context of disease and disease prevention and treatment. So this field examines the influence of diet and other lifestyle factors on our genetic potential. Mm-hmm. While we cannot alter our genetic makeup, we can modify our behaviors to support our genes. So this is the nice side of it, nice bit of it. So nutrigenomic testing provides insight into how our lifestyle choices affect our genes, enabling us to make informed changes that align with our genetic profile to enhance our health and well-being. So basically, this is, in a nutshell, what nutrigenomics is about.
So basically, in other words, how you can eat yourself healthy, right?
To
a certain extent. So
we can say that way.
So I mean, you've touched on it, but how is this going to be helpful for healthcare? You know, how can we work together to improve patients and their health? You know, where does this fit basically with everything?
Yeah. So I would say, and I very much believe that genetic testing is transforming the future of health and medicine, because it allows us to examine our DNA in detail, which means that the chemical instructions, so the DNA that is present in every cell of our body, determines who we are and drives every bodily function. Yeah. So this genetic code guides the body on how to perform every task, including how well we absorb and utilize specific nutrients like vitamins and minerals, which affects our nutritional needs. Yeah. It also influences the production of sex hormones, for example, or impacts reproduction, fertility, affects neurotransmitter levels, thereby influencing our thinking and emotional well-being, so mental health. Yeah, we think of mental health here. Furthermore, it regulates cell growth and repair, energy production, efficiency, and even how easily we store excess energy as fat. Okay. So our biochemical uniqueness is created by common variations in our genetic code known as SNPs, or single nucleotide polymorphism. So these are the genetic variations. Yeah. While these variations don't cause disease directly, or diseases, they can impact our energy levels, detoxification processes, immune function, mental well-being, and so on. So by examining these genetic variations, we can basically unlock our individual health blueprint, which means that providing a comprehensive insight into our biological strengths and weaknesses, because we all have some genetic variations. So ultimately, these leads to a better understanding of our overall health.
Okay.
So I think this is quite. It would be very good for conventional medicine as well, to in preventative medicine, because we are talking about prevention here.
Yeah. So from what I'm understanding is, the more you understand about how your body actually works, the more you can tailor what you do with your supplements, what you do with your lifestyle generally, and it gives you more information about how you can keep yourself healthy for as long as possible, right? So that I think is really, really powerful, because then it means that just because your friend can have 10 cigarettes or whatever it is, and you do the same, your body will be different and will react differently to that person. So actually what you're trying to do with this is say, right, well, if you have that glass of wine, this is how your body breaks it down, whereas your friend will have a glass of wine, that's how they break it down. So even down to probably some of the things that I might say to somebody, that might work for some people and not others. So it's probably the reason why a lot of HRT can work for lots of people, but actually sometimes it doesn't. And you ask yourself, well, why is that? So so that kind of brings me on to my next question then, which is how is this helpful for hormone health? Because that's obviously one of my areas that I love working in. So yeah, it fascinates me.
Yeah. So basically, when we are dealing with the hormonal imbalances, such as, I don't know, let's say infertility, low libido, low sperm count. I know this is not your area necessarily, but just to mention it, acne, we can see PCOS or PCOS, mood swings, endometriosis, PMS, PMDD, depression. I see quite a lot of depression, weight gain or resistance to weight loss, which I frequently observe in clinic. Also hormone-sensitive cancers like breast cancer, prostate cancer. It's crucial to investigate the genes involved in the regulation, sensitivity, and elimination of steroid hormones, including estrogen, testosterone, progesterone, and cortisol. Okay. So additionally, we can investigate, or we can conduct an in-depth analysis of estrogen balance, because it's really, really important how we detoxify estrogen. This was one of my main issues that I discovered recently, that I'm not detoxifying properly estrogen.
Okay, so what would that mean then? You would accumulate more estrogen in your body than others? Or so if you had HRT, you'd find it difficult to break HRT down?
Especially estrogen. Yeah, so because my ESR, so my estrogen receptors, the two estrogen receptors are down-regulated. So even if I would take estrogen, my body doesn't feel it. And because of this, I accumulate more weight, especially around my midsection. So I tend to, let's put it this way, to produce more estrogen, because my body thinks I don't have enough estrogen, so let's make more estrogen. So that's a huge issue, because I'm sure you're familiar with aromatization. So you convert basically testosterone into estrogen. So that's another issue that I see myself in my genes. So and on top of this, I'm not detoxifying it properly, and I tend to make more of the 4-OH, sorry, estrogen, which is it's more related to cancers, and so I have to be careful there.
Okay, so what I think is really interesting is that if somebody's on HRT and they feel amazing, actually they're probably fine, aren't they? It's really the people who are really struggling and they've tried all the different types of HRT, they perhaps tried different dosages, and it's not working for them. And you've got to ask yourself, well, actually, what's going on? And then this is where working with someone like yourself, I think, would be really helpful, because then you can start to drill down even further and say, right, okay, why is this not working? What are we missing here?
But another thing, now that you mentioned, I just remembered that it's not just about estrogen, because you know that we need progesterone as well to balance estrogen. So another thing that I've seen in myself, in my genes, I don't convert progesterone into the LOP form, so which has the calming form, the calming effect on the brain. So I have a SNP over there. So I have a polymorphism over there. So I have to take extra steps for that in order to feel the progesterone, the effect of progesterone.
Okay.
That's another thing that it can, because even if someone feels great on HRT, let's say, it might worth investigating how they detoxify, especially estrogen. So
yeah, I mean, if somebody felt that they needed to do that, absolutely, that's it's additional information, isn't it? It's just all information. So, but I can definitely see when it's not working. I can definitely see that being like the most important way of using this. So yeah, I mean, it can be used for anybody, obviously, but I think that this is where I get excited about it, is the people that have got multiple issues, or they've been on HRT and it's still not working, or they've got other issues going on with their gut or something, and you think, well, hang on a minute, there's something not quite right here, we're not getting it, what are we missing? And then this just gives us that extra layer. So what are the common things then you see women in particular are being impacted?
Estrogen. So estrogen, it's a huge topic, isn't it? So estrogen imbalances, or more accurately, as I mentioned it a moment ago, unopposed estrogen, because this can occur not only during perimenopause, as you probably know, when in the early phases of perimenopause, it's actually the progesterone that drops first, not estrogen. And because estrogen remains quite high at that stage, it can lead to all sorts of symptoms, including quite debilitating, I would say, like depression, heavy bleeding, PMS, brain fog, even suicidal thoughts. So I came across this as well. But it can also happen during our fertile years, so in adolescence, let's say, because various factors such as poor nutrition, inadequate sleep, chronic stress, which is quite common these days, isn't it, can reduce the body's ability to produce cortisol, which means that this can lead to a condition known as progesterone steal. What happens here, the body diverts progesterone to produce cortisol. So it steals from progesterone to transform it into cortisol. And again, it leaves estrogen unopposed.
Okay.
So it's quite interesting what happens here.
Yeah. So reducing your stress then can stop that stealing from happening from the progesterone into cortisol. Is that what you mean?
Of course, yes.
Yeah.
It's in a nutshell.
So it's part of it. So it's kind of like a vicious cycle. Low progesterone, more anxious, more PMS type symptoms, worsening stress, worsening progesterone. Yeah, it kind of goes in a circle, doesn't it? Okay.
When I talk about stress, because I like to emphasize this honestly, because when I talk to people, they usually think of stress is work related. No, it's not. Stress can mean the inflammation that you have in your body. Stress can be excess exercising or a lack of exercising. So your sedentary lifestyle, you're not doing anything. Poor sleep, of course, relationship issues. So it's quite broad. It's not just work and home. No, it's much more than that. Yeah. So
looking after yourself.
I just wanted to emphasize. So it's really important because when it comes to stress, I would say it's really important how we respond to stress, because we can't eliminate stress from our lives, just erase it. We can't. So when, we have to look at lifestyle factors, implementing, those self-care routines, have time for yourself, prioritize yourself. This is something, I'm not sure what you see in clinic, but I can definitely tell you what I see in clinic. Women, they don't prioritize themselves.
No, I see that a lot as well. And
because if you don't charge your batteries, if you don't have at least one day in a week when you're just by yourself, or it's not selfish, it's self-care. You need time for yourself. You need time alone. You need time, without kids, without your husband, without your dog, without anything. I'm not sure if you agree with me on this, but
no, completely agree.
It's really important. And then the next day you feel refreshed.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I completely and utterly agree. I think self-care is definitely up there with all the things you can do to help make yourself feel better, regardless of whether it's perimenopause, fertility, whatever condition it is. So I think that probably leads me on quite nicely to our next question, which is kind of what piece of advice would you give a woman who is struggling with her symptoms right now? So the first one is look at what you're doing and what's your day-to-day looking like. When do you get that little bit of space for yourself?
I think we sometimes forget the basic things. So I often see people come to me and I don't know, they just want some supplements and they want, I don't know what miracle things. No, it's not that easy. What I do is not a quick fix.
No.
It takes time, because changing habits, changing your lifestyle, it takes time.
Yeah.
So coming back to the basics, your sleep, this is a huge one. And I'm not talking about, okay, you have that 8 hours of sleep, let's say, but at what time do you go to sleep? Because often what I see, people go to sleep at 2:00 in the morning. So you're basically you're already missing those hours when your body is regenerating and detoxifying naturally.
Yeah.
If you have those 8 hours of sleep, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, because you've already missed quite a big chunk.
It will have an impact long term. So I'm not saying straight away, but long term, it will have an impact on your mental health, on your weight, on everything. Yeah. So I would say these are the basics, and then of course clean out your diet, because so many people live on takeaway foods and junk food. And I'm not saying I'm not a robot. Don't get me wrong. I eat chocolate sometimes and I eat a pizza sometimes. So it's normal, But what we do on a 95% of what we do in a day or in a week is more important than what you do in those 5%. So food, sleep, exercising, it doesn't mean that you have to run a marathon every week. No, even going out, for a walk for 15 minutes, 30 minutes, it will have a huge impact on your mental health, on your well-being. It will, stimulate your lymphatic system, so you're detoxifying, because detoxifying is something that our body does naturally. We don't need special pills or green juices or whatever. I'm not saying it's not healthy, but we can't rely on just drinking green stuff, let's say. So you have to optimize your own body to function properly. So what I mean by this, to find those genetic variations that maybe are impacting your detoxification, and work on that. So yeah, I think these are the basics. And after that, for example, if you have certain symptoms that they just, no matter what you do, they just don't go away, what I say, always test, never guess. So in my clinic, yeah, I use this advanced functional testing, like the Nutrigenomics, comprehensive stool testing, advanced blood panels. So basically, these powerful tools eliminate the guesswork by providing real personalized data that can directly address certain health concerns. Yeah. Because without this data, it's like shooting in the dark. Yeah. So which basically are just, it's maybe it's this, maybe it's that, we don't know, let's try this, let's try that, and then we know. So it takes away that guesswork, and without this data, it can prolong your suffering basically, and actually we can never get to the root cause of your symptoms or health issues. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Investigating the root cause is central to my approach. And so my advice is, or would be, is that finding and collaborating with a healthcare professional who truly understands your unique needs is crucial to finding the answers to your health concerns.
Have you got, you're going to share with us an example of what a report might look like for somebody?
Yeah, sure. 1 second. Yeah, so I want to share. Can you see something? Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, can you see it? Can you see this?
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah. So this is a detoxification summary. Basically, this is my report. So I'm sharing it with you. So as you can see, my phase 1, because we have the 2 main phases of the liver detoxification. So basically, my phase 1 is too fast. Yeah. So I need to slow it down. I need to optimize it. But coming back to estrogen, because let's say this is the topic today, what I'm saying here, so the glutathione is okay, but the sulfonation and the gluconoridation, so these 2, which detoxify estrogen, basically, they're not quite optimal. So I need to support more, of my glutathione pathway in order to optimally detoxify estrogen.
Okay. And then you'd work with somebody based off that, and to let them know what sort of things they can do in order to do that.
Yes, because for example, this is a summary of what can inhibit and what can induce these phases. Yeah, so these are certain vitamins, minerals, and certain nutrients. So in my case, for example, caffeine, no, because it induces even more, as you can see. Yeah. So caffeine, smoking, it's a no. Alcohol, no. So I need to be careful with that. However, adding these nutrients, basically I slow it down, I optimize it.
Yeah. Okay. So the ones that are inhibitors. Yeah.
Because the problem is, if you don't optimize your phase 1, then you produce too much of the reactive oxygen species, which is basically creates inflammation and oxidative stress. Okay, so I need to be careful to eat lots of, cabbage and all the brassica family vegetables. Yeah. So with
Amazing.
with phase 2 is again, as I mentioned, sulfur foods. But here I can add, for example, the Epsom salt bath, like 2 or 3 times a week, which it's magnesium sulfate. And basically, it's a nice way to relax in the bath and also help your body to eliminate estrogen or excessive estrogen or spent estrogen, for people to understand what I'm talking about. And another important thing is, for example, black pepper. In my case, it blocks phase 3, which is the elimination. So I have to stay away from black pepper.
Yes, it goes down into a very granular level. So
yeah,
wow, that's really cool. So
can you see this?
Yeah, I can see that one. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the estrogen life cycle. This is from the hormones report. I won't go into many details because it's quite complex here. But what I just wanted to show you what I talked about earlier is the aromatase inhibitors. Yeah. So I tend to convert testosterone into estrogen. And because of this, of course, not just the symptoms can worsen, but also you can have weight loss resistance, or just simply, I don't know, you put on weight just by breathing air. And a lot of women, I think, especially perimenopausal, I'm sure you've seen this, they put on a lot of weight without changing anything in their life or food or So this is what I wanted to show you, because my COMT, I don't want to go into many details here, because we'll spend another 3 hours.
You can see that that's red, and there's lots of arrows down on that one.
It's double, so it's even worse. So for me, for example, because I used to love green tea, I can't drink it anymore. I mean, I can't, I'm not allowed to drink it anymore because it makes things worse. Yeah.
Okay.
So I tend to convert the estrogen, the estradiol, into the 4-OH that I mentioned. Yeah. And the elimination, as you can see, green tea again will block it. It will block the elimination. So I did myself a lot of, on a favor, let's say, for years and years by drinking green tea. But hey, at least I know now that
you can make a difference there. Yeah. Well, thank you so much. I think that's been absolutely amazing. Just the whole concept is just mind-blowing. So I've put your link at the bottom of this so that people can find you, basically. And if they want to do this test, or find out a bit more about themselves, perhaps they've got some odd symptoms that just don't seem to be shifting, then yeah, absolutely, 100%. I'd love them to and find out a bit more about their bodies and how it's working and what they're doing. So you do a 30-minute free kind of get to know you session as well, don't you? Kind of a discovery session. So if you're not sure if it's right for you, or you just need to find a bit more about it, then go on Timea's website and find out more, because it's really interesting. And not everybody responds in the same way, so actually this is your opportunity to find out more about yourself. So yeah,
it is. Yes.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and I really hope people sort of seek you out and find out more about you, because I think that's really important. I can't see that any questions have popped up during our session, but there may be some afterwards, so you never know. I'll get in touch with you if there are. Is there anything final kind of final thought you want to say before we close off?
Well, thank you for having me, Nikki, and this was a pleasure as always to talk to you, and I hope it was helpful and a bit eye-opening, as it was for me as well when I found out. And
Brilliant. Thank you so much, and thank you for joining us, the people that came live. Thank you.